Cooking for Health, a community cooking class brought to you by First Choice Community Healthcare, Agricultura Cooperative Network, La Cosecha, and other valued community partners. Today we'll be making tamales de rajas, and we'll be starting with our salsa verde. The ingredients for our salsa verde are 1 pound of tomatillos, 4 jalapenos, 1.5 onion, 4 cloves of garlic, we're going to peel our tomatillos. After you're done peeling your tomatillos, you will need to rinse them. We can move on to quarter the onions. We'll cut off the top of the jalapenos and cut them in half. Then we're going to boil everything until the tomatillos are soft. You don't want them to boil until they burst because that can sometimes make it a little bit bitter. You're going to add all of it together with a pinch of cilantro into the blender and just give it a nice blend until smooth. Then you're going to put it back into your pot and bring it to a light boil. Once it has come to a boil, you're going to lower the heat and simmer for about 5 to 10 minutes. So next we're going to be moving on to roasting our poblanos. Chile poblano originated in Puebla, Mexico, and when it's dried, it's called chile ancho. It can be used for chile rellenos, salsas, rajas, and today we're going to use them for our tamales de rajas. There are different ways you can do this, but today I'm going to place my poblano chiles straight over the flame, directly over the flame on my stove. And then you're going to slowly rotate the chiles and get them nice and roasted on all sides. The chiles will begin to pop and they'll begin to blacken. Once they are nice and charred, remove them from the heat and place them in a bag so that they can sweat and cool. This will help them be easier to peel. Once they're cooled down enough to handle with your hands, you can peel your chiles. You can just use your hands to remove all of the outer skin and it should come off pretty easily. Sometimes it's a little bit sticky. Some people like to rinse them, but I think that they have a lot of great flavor, and so I don't like to rinse them. I like to just remove everything with my hands, and then after that I'm going to remove the stems and the seeds. And then I'm going to slice my chile long ways. I can even stack a few on top of each other. And then slice them into long strips. And then I'm going to cut those strips in half. Now that I have all of my chile poblanos roasted and peeled and sliced, I'm going to add some of the salsa verde that we made earlier. And I'm just going to mix some of that in with my chile poblano. Now our rajas and salsa verde are ready, and this will be the filling for our tamales. We are going to start with soaking our corn husks in warm water, and we do this so that they become flexible and easy to work with, and so that they won't break or be brittle. So I'm just going to get my big pot here, and I'm going to place my corn husks inside my pot, and I'm going to fill it with some hot water, warm water. And then I'm just going to set that aside. And I'm placing this bowl on top of it just to weigh down the corn husks so that they don't float to the top and they're fully soaking in the water. Next, we're going to move on to making our masa. Our masa is the dough for our tamales. The ingredients we need are 1 pack of corn husks, 6 cups of masa harina, 5 cups of water or broth, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1 cup of non-hydrogenated shortening, and 1 tablespoon of sea salt. This masa harina I'm using today I purchased from Amazon. If you're able to get something that is local, that's even better. If you buy store-bought, just pay attention to the ingredients and make sure it only has these 2 ingredients that you can see right here on this label. Now, during the pandemic, I haven't been able to have the same access to some of the ingredients, so I purchased this one on Amazon, and I purchased a whole box, and it came with 4 packs of masa harina. We're starting with 6 cups of masa harina and 5 cups of hot water. So we'll start with pouring our 6 cups of masa harina and then adding 5 cups of hot water or hot broth. Now I'm ready to go ahead and knead this into dough. After it's been sitting for about 20 minutes, it is super soft and super easy to just mix it all together using your hand and just get that into a nice dough. Next, we will add the rest of our ingredients, which is our shortening, our baking powder, our salt, and we're also going to add about 2 cups of the salsa verde that we made earlier. And then we're going to once again knead everything together and make our final dough. Now our masa is ready and we are ready to begin making our tamales. Sometimes I find after you're done making your masa, it's always good to let it sit for another 10 to 15 minutes, and it just kind of solidifies your masa. And we just cover the whole corn husk with a nice layer of dough. Next, we're going to add our filling, which is our rajas and salsa verde. You place your filling right down the middle, and then you just fold your corn husk over and roll it, and then the bottom end, you just fold that up and bring that together, and you have your tamale. I'm now done rolling all of my tamales, and I'm going to need to steam them. I'm using a tamalera, which is a big steamer. And you fill the bottom with water, place the steam rack in, cover the bottom with leftover corn husk, and place your tamales in the pot with the open side facing up. Next, steam your tamales for 2 to 4 hours, depending on what kind of tamales you're making, the amount of tamales, and the consistency of your dough. Remove tamales from the heat and allow them to cool down. You're now ready to serve your tamales, and you can drizzle with the leftover salsa verde. For our last recipe of the day, we're going to make chocolate tamales. Again, we're going to start with soaking our corn husk and making our masa. We're going to boil 2 sticks of cinnamon in 5 cups of water. We're going to use this water to make our masa. So to start off with, we're using 6 cups of harina masa and 5 cups of cinnamon water. We're going to knead into dough and let it sit for 20 minutes. Next, we're going to add our shortening, baking powder, salt, cinnamon powder, and we're going to knead it again. And now our dough is ready, and we're going to begin making our tamales. We're going to spread our dough onto our corn husk and fold our tamales. There's no filling for this recipe. And once we've made all of our tamales, you can steam for 2 to 4 hours. After 2 hours, check your tamales. If they need longer, if they're still sticky, keep steaming. Once they're done, turn them off and allow them to cool before you serve them. They are delicious as is, but you can also top with fruits or nuts and drizzle with chocolate syrup. It's a unique, delicious treat, and I hope you can try this recipe at home. Thank you for watching. Tune in for the next fun and healthy recipe from Cooking for Health.